Thank you so much, Robert, for that gracious introduction. I must acknowledge that time has since left us, but we'll still try and do our best in the time available to capture as much as we can. And I wanted to encourage students that I was told by some professor of mine in the years of old that when you go somewhere where you think you're going to get good ideas, you better carry with you a pen and paper so that you can grab and cement some ideas that you'll come by which will help transform your life. I'm not saying you don't have a pen and a paper today, but in the years to come in future, when you're going to meet and talk to people, that will be an exceptional opportunity for you to leverage on ideas you'll find. Now, this beautiful afternoon, I want us to come together in reflection on the progress that we must make as a people together as we make this university the best. I would call it the Harvard of South Pacific. Well, my presentation this afternoon is on mindset change and strategic alignment, and I must procedurally acknowledge all persons seated here in your various capacities, and Madam Registrar, you are so much, your presence is acknowledged. Okay, so mindset change is not new to us. I want to thank ATEM for coming up with this noble conception. It is the elephant in the room. We really must do it and do it now. What must we do? We got to realize that success will begin with the mindset, without which we'll be flogging a dead horse. It will be very important that we understand the variables of our talk this afternoon. Why do we need, what is mindset and how does it apply to the stakeholders of Unitec? That is you and I and all of us who depend on this great university. And how can we change our mindsets so that we are very resourceful and useful and are good stewards where we find ourselves as employees of this great university? Of course, mindset, as per many definitions, will simply be a belief about yourself and your qualities and the personalities and the talents that are within you. And God has graciously endowed us with volumes and robust talents that lie unexploited in all of us. And I hope and pray that we are able to tap into this opportunity and unlock our potentials and transform our mindsets and be able to be useful not only to this university and this great country, but also to ourselves as inhabitants of this world. Now look, the bigger picture is that we would want to make, I probably would in my lifetime want to see this happen, making this great university the Harvard of South Pacific. It is possible, it is doable, but it depends on you and I. So there are two different mindsets that are very important that we must critically think about. The first one is a fixed mindset that is always against change, that is not dynamic, that is not willing to be transformed towards positivity. And then there is that one which is called growth mindset. And this is the paradigm shift that we want to leverage on as we move to that promised destination that is surely coming. Now, reflections. We've got to think out of the box. Why? Life is all about value addition, changing things, and this we must do because as we do this, we must be willing to change the status quo. It will be very absurd for us not to note that we got to be pragmatic and practical if we are to exercise this mindset change. Being pragmatic and practical is key here. We must, in this process, re-engineer management structure, systems, and policies and procedures. And this also will come about with prudential financial controls if the university is to transit into that glorious Harvard of Africa. Harvard of South Pacific that I'm talking about. Well, I call it Harvard of Africa because I am now an alumni of this university, having graduated this year with a postgraduate certificate in student-centered teaching. And so I'm an alumni. This is my alma mater as well. And so together we must do all it takes to ensure that all this is done graciously, and we will need a strategy in place to have this happen. Strategy will give us a roadmap that shows us where we must go and where we are right now and what we must do so that we get to where we want to be. Of course, we must agree that life at its best is subject to change. And even the strategies we have in place will be subject to change. And we must agree that the policies, systems, and procedures are not static. They are dynamic, and they are not a substitute for exercise of leadership, exercise of judgment by leadership. Once in a while, we'll tweak them to make them fit for purpose as times and contexts change. It's very important, ladies and gentlemen, that we appreciate what we call strategic maturity. Now, a university of a magnitude of ours, our university, PNG University of Technology, you and I as staff and students, and all of us as stakeholders, must be willing to appreciate that some organizations have no strategy at all. Now, when I talk about strategy, I'm talking about policies, systems, structures, and procedures. Some organizations do not have them. Okay? But there are those that have these policies, but do not embed them in the operations of their business. And then there is that ideal organization that we are, that has the policies, systems, structures, and procedures, but also socialize them, utilize them, so that people know what they must do and will do at what time. You know your role as a student, I know my role as an administrator, and our lecturers do know their roles as educators in our great university. And so when we realize this, then we shall have achieved what we call strategic maturity. It is my sincere prayer that all of us do our part to ensure that Unitech realizes this strategic maturity. When all the policies and the procedures are public and transparent and are socialized so that the students know their policies that guide them, the staff know their policies, and we know our core values that must guide our corporate culture and brand as a great university in this part of the world. It will be my prayer again that you note that we must have a process, otherwise we will not have progress. The processes must be observed, must be adhered to, and must be followed. We also got to observe that if we have the processes in place, we'll have a golden passport to enable us knock all the ceilings and reach greatest heights that we have never fathomed. It will be very important, therefore, to note that when we strategize carefully as a people, as a university, as students, as staff, as management, then we will be able to provide that synergy, that enthusiasm that we so very much need to hit the bull's eye. And then we'll be able to sustain that enthusiasm and then help our staff, help our students realize the glorious aspirations of the founding fathers of this great university. It will also be very important that we get to know that strategic alignment must come into play. The topic of my presentation is on strategic alignment, and I wanted us to reflect carefully that strategic alignment has some processes. One, we must know our business. If we are to be strategically aligned to the core values and mission and vision of this great university, you and I must know our business. And my business, I'm a plumber of high performance at the university. I try to inspire productivity in our staff. So you too must know your business in your various capacities in wherever position you serve at Unitech. And you as a student equally must know your business as the reason as to why you are here. We also must set our goals and have them in black and white. We too will need to focus the market demands. What does the market need? The quality of graduates that will not only compete within the South Pacific, we are producing an ideal graduate for the South Pacific and the rest of the world. I must tell you that competition has been brought home. For our students, of course, it's an open secret that I'm coming all the way from Kenya in East Africa to come and bring competition in Papua New Guinea. And so you got to do the same too. You got to be willing and able to take competition elsewhere so that you can be able to repatriate cash back to this economy. And so this is why we're talking about our vision of this university being a world-class, being able to produce world-class graduates for the real world. When you are world-class, in the words of my Vice-Chancellor, you are able to work anywhere with any ideal global company, and you are able to bring your very best in whatever situation you find yourself. So we must focus the market demands and tailor-make our courses and programs to suit what the market needs so that when you leave this place, you become a darling of the industry. We are saying we must gauge the industry competition. We are government university, taxpayer university, but still we are at the brink of extinction if we don't get our facts right, because there is still computation. The government we must show government reason to continue investing in us. We must give value for the money the government pumps in this great university. So we must be able to gauge the industry computation and bridge that gap. Two, as Unitec, we must be able to track our competitive advantage. We have a huge chunk of land, and I know the university is working on its university master plan. Ultimately, probably will make good revenue for the university. We've got to ensure that we track on our advantage of being in the industrial hub of this great country, so that our students can easily get practicum, colloquium, and attachments within these industrial institutions around Leh. We've got to ensure that we get speakers and inspirational persons to come from the industry to give us real-life experience, so that when you leave this place, you have touched base with the industry somehow. And like we said, you become the ideal graduate. Of course, like I said before, we must be able to target and bridge our gap. We have limitations, all of us, and we know our gaps. For example, my gap that I see is that we must target soon probably will be water, harnessing water. We've got to store our water so that in case PNG water is not pumping water to us, we'll still be able to, we'll still remain afloat and sustainable. And so you and I got to identify our gaps and be able to put in place mechanisms to overcome them, to work around them. Wrap your brain around this, wrap your mind around this, and ensure that Unitec is given its right place up there, because the bottom is crowded. We are not competing down here. We would want to take this university to where it belongs, up there. Like I said, the Harvard of the South Pacific. Of course, we got also to ensure that we develop and inculcate the corporate culture that will enable us deliver our strategic values. Of course, culture is everything, as we shall see as time goes by. For every slide I have, you can see that, world class. I didn't put it there by accident. I put it there because our vision as a university is to produce world-class technocrats for the real world. And as you'll note later, we got to identify our risks and opportunities and be able to, address them. Then ultimately, we got to review and track our progress as a people. Once in a while, maybe on quarterly basis, maybe on monthly basis, maybe on yearly basis, we got to sit down and look at the plans we had and how far we have gone in probably getting them done. Not only as administrators, but also as students. You got to visions and missions and plans for the year. The year is almost gone. How far have you gone towards hitting the annual plans that you had for this year? So as a university, for us to become as successful as we want to be, we equally will have to review and track our progress. Now, success to us as a Unitec family will come when we keep our core values, when we keep our plans, when you keep our systems and procedures short and sweet. Keep it short and sharp. When you're going to write your value, your aspirations, do not write Bible size. Make them brief and make them really, really internalizable. Of course, we also got to challenge assumptions. If we are to move this great university, making it the melting pot of knowledge, we got to challenge assumptions. Do not say, this can't work here, it can't be done. No, I say, baby, it can be done. Yes, we can. Say, yes, we can. So challenge assumptions. Do not say I can't come to class at 7. Do not say we can't have lectures past 4. Do not say that I can't come to work at 8, because it is possible, it's doable, it's been done elsewhere. Why not here? So it will be very, very important for us also to speak the same language so that we agree on what binds us. We are more similar than different. And we should focus, therefore, on what makes us look alike, what is very important that brings us here, which is our clientele base, our students, and their well-being, because they are the reasons that make us find ourselves here. We must discuss resource deployment early. For our students, if you do not have a lecturer or he or she is not giving you quality at the inception of the semester, why must we wait up to the last day when your exams are due? Then you raise objections that you see, this lecturer did not come to class. Where were you throughout the semester? So we must take responsibility for our own reinvention. We got to discuss resource deployment early, not only with students, but also with staff. It will be very, very appealing to reach to call for an emergency down at Markham Place, and then the security office says, but we see our vehicles are grounded. Let's discuss resource deployment early, and I know that is not possible because we always have very good response from security. Okay, so we got to also identify our priorities and our priority framework. What is important to us, and what should we do after what? At what time? That will be very, very important for you also as students. You got to know the reason as to why you are here. You have a contract with us for 4 years. If you're doing a bachelor's degree, unless you're doing architecture, then you may be here much longer. After the end of 4 years, we expect you to terminate your contract with us and go. Or else, be here because you have enrolled for postgraduate courses. Okay, so identify your priority. You came here to study, focus on that study. Afterwards, we will be very, very thankful that you are part of this great university. Of course, continuously you must monitor performance. We have what is called 360-degree performance appraisal. It may not just be me as a program administrator. You as a student may bring in a value addition along the way, say something that will add value in the process. My supervisors and my peers, my line managers equally, will all be accountable. So I pray, and it's my earnest prayer, that we shall always ensure continuous improvement. There is a car we call Mercedes-Benz, and Mercedes-Benz is what it is because of its investment in continuous improvement. Over time, Mercedes-Benz has always remained at the par, top-notch, world-class, because of its investment in continuous improvement. I pray we also learn to improve in ourselves. Of course, finally, ideation without execution is deletion. And that's a brain tattoo I always give around. That ideation without execution is deletion. Quite a number of us are very good with brilliant ideas, but they hardly see the light of day because we are highly deluded. We do not sharpen our execution intelligence so that we remain very verbatim, very, very, very theoretical. Very good, brilliant ideas, but they do not build bridges because they do not build houses or bridges or create crafts because they remain ideas. I pray tonight that we work on our execution intelligence and be able to execute on our dreams, execute on our mandate here and beyond. If you are an employee here, go back, rethink your job description, look at it once more and ask yourself whether you are really meeting what brought you here. If you're a student, kindly do the same. So develop execution ability. This, invest in yourself. Ensure every day you make yourself better and relevant and indispensable in whatever capacity you serve this university. Of course, like I said before, culture eats strategy for lunch. This simply means that if there is a mediocre culture, however good our plans are, they will not see the light of day because culture will take them where they belong, to the dustbin. So it's my prayer tonight, again, that we are able to institutionalize the right culture, the right habits, rituals, and practices that will promote the core values of this university and the mission, and it's what it stands for, its philosophy. Okay, so, of course, when you are strategically aligned, they say that so many things happened. You get synergy, you get sense of direction, sense of purpose, but in all this, there is what we call leadership. And so, in the words of Peter Drucker, we call him the father of modern management. He says that everything else falls on leadership. Only 3 things happen naturally in an organization, like Unitech: friction, confusion, and underperformance. Everything else requires leadership. Now, this does not mean that leadership must be provided by the HODs, the CEOs, the VC, and the registrar, and the section heads. We also have, God gave us this opportunity to exercise self-leadership. Lead without a title. Ensure you get to be a leader. Lead where you're planted. Lead by example. Stand up fast. Be an army of one when it comes to creating possibilities. Provide 60% leadership. Lead yourself before you expect to go out there to be led by others. As a student, you got not to wait for the bell to ring for you to go to class. Lead yourself. You don't have to wait for Google Classroom to warn you that it is time for you to submit your coursework. Submit your assignments. You got not to wait for the register to remind you to pay your fees, your dues. Do pay your dues. You knew you were coming to school. Make arrangements with your parents so that it's not embarrassing the last minute of a semester and you have not cleared your dues and therefore you become really disturbed. Exercise self-leadership. That will be very key in our success. Of course, probably that is where we are as students, and probably quite a number of us are there, very amorphous and disorganized, but that is where we'd want to be, all of us. We'd want to be aligned so that we all speak the same language, sing the same song, and see the bigger picture together. But that will need the process that makes us come here this afternoon, where we come together and chart our charter, rewrite our charter, bend the arc of history to our favor, because it is possible, it is doable. Now, there are these questions we need to ask ourselves. Where are we now as Unitec? Where are we now as students with your dreams and aspirations? As staff, where are we? Where are we going to? Do you know where we are going to? But again, what is going to get on our way? What are the obstacles that we probably must surmount? Because it's possible, it's doable. And what do we need to get there? And God has endowed this land and this university with immense resources that probably we just don't tap into succinctly. It's my prayer that we'll be able to open our eyes and see these resources that are around us and tap into them. I'm not a very good Christian, but I like biblical allusions. I lived so much in the Bible at times. One time, Christ Jesus was on the boat. I like using this example. And he was tired, I think, and not the boat really, but the shores of Galilee. And he saw a boat on the shores that was not being utilized. And there were so many people around the shores who were willing, thrilling to listen to him. And so what he did, he requested, whose boat is that, and can I use it? So he went into the boat and plied on the shores of Galilee as he preached to over 5,000 people. You see, Christ Jesus saw an opportunity that was not utilized and jumped on the boat and utilized it to his advantage. How much more should you and I look around us and tap into these opportunities around us and utilize them before it's too late? So what should we do? We must align ourselves, our leadership teams, with the vision of this great university, with the mission of this great university, with the strategy that we have, and with the whole organization. Now, this process will have to be top-down from the council to the senior executive management team, to the HODs, and to everybody down there. And not just stopping there. It also has to come down from the lowest man standing down here so that it bottoms up as well. But also, everybody then will be on the same page if this is done. This makes you and I realize what we call socializing Papua New Guinea University of Technology's high-level strategic foundation. Now, this brings us to what we call mission. Every great university, every great organization has its mission. They have its vision. They have their core values. And they have their clientele and stakeholder identification analysis. I wanted to ask you this question, my audience tonight. Do you know our mission as a university? All of us. Because that is where we are heading to. That's what guides us. Do you know our vision as a university? Do you know our core values? Are you conversant with them? It will be embarrassing for you to graduate from this great university and carry its prestigious credentials when you are not aware of its core values or its vision or its mission. So my challenge to you tonight, dear audience, is that when you leave this place, you get it within your heart to socialize yourself with these foundational statements, because it is serious. But also, people who work here, we must know our clientele, the students, and what brings them here. They are the reasons as to why I find myself all the way from East Africa. Probably they're the reasons you've left your village too to come and be here. And so what do they need? What must we do to make their stay here very flawless? What must we do together to ensure that we identify our clients like we have identified, and as stakeholders, we do need analysis. What do they need? And bridge that gap. Finally, All of us, like I said before, must be aware of our policies, our systems, structures, and of course, procedures, so that you do not act in ignorance, because ignorance is no defense, even in the courts of law. You can't say, I didn't know. Once the law is clear on it, you will be charged and probably prosecuted. So it's very, very important for us as stakeholders of this great university to touch base with this high-level strategic foundation. When you leave this place, please go back and reflect carefully on what I've said. Now, PNDUOT, through its council and SMT and the powers that be here, have given us what we call our mission. And our mission right now is to grow world-class technocrats through high-quality experiential teaching, research, and ardent application of scientific and technological knowledge and innovation. Of course, this is on our website, the university. You got to find it there. You got to make it part of you and ask yourself whether you, if you're a staff, are working towards that vision. If you're an administrator, are you leading us towards that vision? If you are a student, where are you in that big picture of our vision statement? Our vision, of course, is to produce world-class technocrats for the real world, like I said, and I've defined it. And wherever the VC stands, he always talks about world-class. And its operational definition here is an open secret. Okay, world-class, to me, simply means not poor, not average, not good, not excellent, but up there. Very much up north. Excellent. Not excellent. World-class. So by the time we are producing world-class technocrats, I believe you and I probably know what we'd want to produce. Now, we also have our core values that guide our operations, and our core values, the first one is high ethical standards. So wherever you work, wherever you are as a staff of Unitech, or as a student, as a stakeholder, do you engage in high ethical standards? This in itself is a premise upon which I may lose my job in this great university. This is a premise upon which you as a student may be terminated because you are not keeping in touch, in sync with our first core value. Our second core value is professionalism. You got to ensure that you are professional as much as you possibly can. It's possible, it's doable. Our third value is diversity. We respect diversity. We respect gender. We are an equal opportunity employer. And that is why we don't check race, gender, creed, religion, and even sexual orientation. Diversity, therefore, will mean that we must learn to appreciate unity in diversity. Appreciate people from wherever they come from, for who they are and what they are able to bring on board. It will be very important for you and I, as members of Unity community, to appreciate each other and to build each other. We are more similar than we are different. There is no need for you to fight with somebody because he comes from a different tribe or a different community or different faith. Our third value is innovation and initiative. Of course, we got to bring your innovation. You got to bring your innovation on board. As a staff in this university, our core value gives you the opportunity to bring your initiative and innovation. Bring what you think can help move your department forward. Of course, pride and passion, and I'm very passionate about this ever since I joined this university. Pride and passion simply means that we are proud and passionate about not only our alma mater, but also what we do herein. You've got to be proud of Unitech. You've got to be proud of what we do here. You've got to be proud of this great university. And so, wherever you walk, wherever you find yourselves, ask yourself whether you are operating within our core values as a university. Of course, I had them explained here. We have the core values there and the value statements that support, that helps you internalize or appreciate what we mean by, for example, high ethical standards. What do we mean by professionalism? It's explained there. But I want to explain, I just want to read for you what we mean by pride and passion. We are proud and passionate about what we do and who we are. Our brand as Unitech and our heritage as Unitech. We have a contagious, positive outlook We give and get deep meaning from our work. We nurture the hearts and souls of each other and those we serve. We value, promote, and fiercely protect our reputation. So wherever you find yourself, ask yourself whether you're proud and passionate about Unitech when you destroy our windows, when you break our chairs, when you pelt our cars. Are you proud and passionate about your alma mater, Unitech? Of course, ladies and gentlemen, I will have talked to you about characteristics of good mission and visions, but I will not because time has gone. Simply get it this way. Our mission as a university helps us know who we are and what we are about and our purpose. Okay? Our vision, on the other hand, is a brief and easy to understand statement that communicates a message usually in one sentence. They're usually very emotional. They inspire emotionally. Core values of Unitech that I've talked about just a while ago, on the other hand, they define our code of conduct, how we must carry ourselves in this great university, whether in the dormitories or in the public, wearing the t-shirt of Unitech and punching somebody in the streets. Wearing the t-shirt of Unitech, you are abusing our brand. Wearing the hat of Unitech with the Unitech logo and engaging in acts that are repugnant to the rules of natural justice. So ask yourself, reflect on this probably when you leave this place. I want to just give you a few examples, but only two maybe, of a mission, because you are all knowing Google. The mission of Google is to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. If you know what Google is, you can see how close they are to their vision. Okay? I want to give you vision of other agencies. Probably, let me take you back to our vision. To produce world-class technocrats for the real world. That is Unitech. Susan Komen, Ekiwa, is an agency that fights cancer. Their vision is a world without breast cancer. It means that is what they are aiming at. Starbucks is a coffee house. Their vision so many years back was that they would want to have 2,000 stores by the year 2000. It was possible, it was doable. By the year 2000, Starbucks had more than 2,000 outlets. Our vision is to produce world-class technocrats for the real world. Salesforce.com has a vision which says the end of software. Whichever software you want, you'll get it at Salesforce. And it's possible. You go there, you'll get it. Just like Wikipedia. You know Wikipedia. Wikipedia has this beautiful vision that I wanted to share with you. It says, a world in which every single person is given free access to the sum of all human knowledge. And truly, if you click on Wikipedia, you will see their vision synced there. Because you'll get the summation of human knowledge. And so, ladies and gentlemen, where are we right now? We are talking about strategic alignment, and we are saying somewhere up at the helm, we have our students who are, and the community who depend on us. We call them their customers and stakeholders. And what is our purpose? What should we do as a people? What picture of the future do we have? Our picture of the future are technocrats, world-class technocrats for the ideal world. What performance lenses should we use to evaluate our results? Coming down here, what are our main focus areas, our pillars of excellence? Teaching, research, community outreach. When you come down here, what continuous improvement activities do we need to get the results we have up there, that we are aspiring for? How will we know if we are achieving the results that we want? And finally, probably, specifically, what projects and programs must we do at the grassroots to ensure that the base is strong and able to achieve the mission? Probably, we'll make these slides available so that you are able to relook at this pyramid and find where are you in the bigger picture of Unitech. Redefining your space in the bigger picture of Unitech. What must you do? What performance lenses must you wear? Of course, the Council in principle did approve our strategic plan, but of course it's still work in progress. We are doing the final phase of it, and I know very soon we'll have to launch our strategic plan document for the university. But it's just a document. It will need you and I and all of us together to ensure that as a team, we action it. And so probably it's just good that we know what strategy is. Like I said, it's an hypothesis. Something that we need to do so as to beat the competition in the private sector. In the public sector, we need it so as to help us achieve our vision of producing world-class technocrats. As a public university, we also need it to satisfy our clients who are students, our stakeholders, and probably our funders and employers. So strategy generally is about making right choices that have organizational-wide impact. But again, strategy being there, we also need what is called a tact. So tactic, you see, there is this diagram we have here, and I always use it many times talking strategy, that we have so many ways of going to town, top town. You can decide to use the back road. Back road eventually gets to B, top town. You can use the Chinatown. You go, then from there you branch to Chinatown, go to top town. But also you can go straight to top town. We need a path of least resistance. In our aspiration towards realizing the dreams and aspirations of this university, we got to ensure that we are effective and efficient. You put in your perspective where economic lenses, whatever you're doing, you must do it knowing that financial resources are scarce, and therefore you got to use whatever you have in a very prudent way. But also, I talked about efficiency and effectiveness. Put in costs and time aspect. Like I said, students, you're here for 4 years. After 4 years, I don't want to see you here unless you are joining postgraduate programs. Okay? And so I pray, if you're given tasks equally, put timelines on those tasks. If you have dreams, put timelines on those dreams so that they are really making sense. It will be brutal for us as staff to know what is called critical, to define what is called value proposition, customer value proposition. I don't want to call it customer. I want to call them clients' value proposition. As our students, they need something from us, and we must be able to provide that which they need from us. And not just our students, whoever benefits from our services, as you work in registry, as you work in the grounds, as you work in the clinic, wherever you work, ensure that you give value for your being there. Add value. Add so much value that when you leave this place, we'll ask ourselves, what shall we do now that he is gone? Give your clients value. Add value. Because there is no reason as to why you should not do so. Our salaries come after every fortnight. They have never missed. And the government pays what we agreed on in contract, in principle. And so why must we overpromise and underdeliver? As a workforce, why must we overpromise that we shall do this and that, but when it comes to actual execution, we become, I don't want to say, but you'll forgive my not so good expression, but we become a cult of card-carrying mediocres. You know, card-carrying, just flashing cards. Who are you? I'm the manager. Who are you? I'm the director, TLMU. And we're not seeing any effect from your being there. You're not adding value. And then collectively, we participate in the deprofessionalization of business. It's my prayer again that we'll be able to give value to our clients when they come, our students, give them the due diligence that they need. Time has gone. ask yourself this question, because I have about 10 minutes, so as to remain financially sensible as a university. To succeed financially, how should we appear to our stakeholders, the government? Otherwise, they may think we are a glorified secondary school in the corner of Murube, somewhere there. And the private sector who are sponsoring students here. And those who are giving us endowments and our critical friends, partners. Internal business processes. To satisfy our stakeholders and customers, who are the students, what business processes must we excel at, depending on where you work, which unit of the university you work in? Learning and growth. To achieve our vision, how will we sustain our ability to change and improve as a university, and also as an individual? Because you can't give what you don't have. And so I always encourage my people to invest in two areas: professional abilities and personal mastery, so that you know yourself, you're emotionally intelligent, and you excuse us from the embarrassments that otherwise we once in a while see. We ask ourselves, so that we remain relevant to our students, our clients, to achieve our vision as a university, how should we appear to our clients? So that was rhetorical. Please go back home and answer that one. But you will see that in case we work on our organizational capacity down here, the staff, quality of staff we bring on board, will be able probably to improve on our internal processes so that work will move very fast. The customers and the shareholders and stakeholders will be very happy, and will be doing well financially. The government this year increased its grants towards us, and I think that was a shot in the arm. Probably it's because things are improving, things are getting better, security is getting better, students are getting jobs, and our output probably is making noise, is shouting on our behalf. But my presentation here was saying that if we improve down here, we'll affect that upper tier, the second tier. Internal process will improve. If it so does, our money will be in abundance, well managed, available. Our stakeholders and our customers will be very much happy. But in case the clients are not happy, see what will happen. And you know the clients will have poor financial muscle. Then we will not have strong internal processes and efficiencies. Then ultimately, we shall face extinction. And I don't want us to get there, and I'm not a Jew, and neither am I related to any Jew prophet. But I can predict that this can't happen to us. We can't self-decimate. We are here to stay. Now, if we work on this nicely, if we improve on our internet, our Wi-Fi, we'll be able to improve our knowledge and skills. Ultimately, we'll improve our processes. It will lower the waiting circle for students who probably need services, and staff who need services, and our dependents here. It will increase cost effectiveness, ultimately improving our customer satisfaction, lowering the waiting time. It is possible. It is doable. Why not, if not? So this at times comes to play when we are scattered. As students, you are very scattered wherever you find yourself. You don't take good care of yourself. You do not even know your role in this big picture. As a staff, you do not know why you are here. And not just you, all of us. I'm not saying that's the case, but I'm saying usually when such challenges happen, it's because people are scattered. Unitech is making huge strides towards redefining its space in the global scene. So this is where we are. This could be where we were, but I can assure you that this is where we are right now. The pieces are fitting together. Things are getting better. And the future is brighter than it was yesterday. My Vice Chancellor says that strategy is more than a boardroom thing. It is everyone's business. you and I all have roles to play in redeeming the image and the brand of this great university. I pray that you note that you don't complain all the time, because it doesn't matter how many resources you have. If you don't know how to use them, it will never be enough. But again, you also must realize that you got to work with the people. Actually, success today in corporate world is about human connections and value delivery. Human connections and value delivery. You got to learn to connect with the people, because you can't clap with one hand. I don't know whether it's possible. You can't clap with one hand. Therefore, in the words of this richest man, the second richest man in the world, no matter how smart you are, if you don't know how to work with the people, your dreams will just be dreams. As I conclude, I want us to read this, that strategic alignment is everyone's business. It's the only way to create ownership and accountability in the people that matter when it comes to executing the organization's mission, vision successfully. Thank you, folks. God bless you. I hope I've been of service to you.